So I am speaking with,
Michael Vickers.
and Michael, you just gave a phenomenal presentation about, well, being the preferred provider and really understanding what your customers' needs and wants are. I mean, what are, or the pain points, what are the questions people need to be asking themselves if they can't ask the customer directly? Because sometimes you can't ask directly the customer what they want or what their pain point is.
Well, I think it's really important that a lot of companies are good at what they do and execution on how they do what they do and what they do, but it's really important that they align with why they do what they do. And when you have all three of those, it's people don't buy your product or service, they buy what that product or service does. So if you don't understand what the why is, why they're actually buying it, you're really missing the boat. So the other things will change, and a lot of companies lose that focus sometimes.
What example, I mean, you gave tons of examples of companies, but what example of a company that you think turned around well, that wasn't asking the question why, but then all of a sudden did and changed dramatically?
Well, Apple probably the most nominal or company that we see that has done well is Apple started to do well with their computers. They started to build boxes. They really didn't ask the why. Once they did, and Mr. Jobs came back into that organization and they addressed the why of what they do. You see where they've done from the iPhone, the iPad. They've changed the nature of the game and have revolutionized industries. So they're a good example.
Hold it. So give me again, what is the why question that they asked with Apple?
Why do we come out with the why? The why is the foundation behind what the product or service is. Why did we create it? So it wasn't to make really cool computers. It was because it allowed you to free and be enabled to create yourself.
And you went through also the 5 currencies that people actually think, and you said that price is almost never an issue. Why are there so many companies that are still so locked up on price and think it is an issue?
Well, they're not looking at the other customer values, and so when you don't bring in the other values or identify the values, price does become the only issue. That's the point of differentiation. So we got to use money, we got to use time, we got to use prestige, we got to use reliability or security, we got to use knowledge. If you use just price, that's the only criteria by which they'll judge you.
And when companies hire you to help them out, where are they usually? I mean, I know every company is a different situation, but what are some of the most common problems you see when you walk in?
It's really on the strategy, on the value proposition, and how do we influence that customer, and how do we hit those emotional triggers. We've identified about 7 emotional triggers that have to be layered into your presentation, to your website, to your communications, to your product offering, and just make sure that those are dovetailed so that you're hitting all the right buttons, so it makes it easy for the customer to actually make a decision and choose you.
Closing, can you actually rattle off those 7 triggers?
Oh no, I give you a long list, but if they visit the website, they can always pick them up from there. But we've got a ton of, like I say, people get into the homework of it, understand the technology behind it. You've got 2 computers in your brain, your amygdala, which is your part of your limbic system, and your prefrontal cortex. Most of the decisions are made from the automatic standpoint of view, and our processes sometimes make them go to the prefrontal cortex, which is the mainframe, and that really slows down the whole process. So it's important to take a look at it, but if they go to the website, they'll be able to have a chance to take a look at some of those.
Michael, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.